Tartarus flashback, All for One's plan, foreign heroes, and much more coming up on this review of My Hero Academia chapter 328 titled Connected. Page by Page is a series where I go from page to page of a manga chapter and talk about it, and since I have officially caught up on My Hero Academia, I thought of starting this series with this manga. An obligatory spoiler warning if you are an anime only of My Hero Academia. Please close this video if you don't wanna get spoiled. And before I start this video, if you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like as that helps me get this video to reach out to more people. And if you like what you're seeing, do subscribe. I try to post at least one video every week, so hit that notification bell if you don't wanna miss out on any videos. With that out of the way, here's Page by Page, My Hero Academia chapter 328. We start the chapter off with a flashback to a month ago, back to the day when Tartarus was infiltrated. We see a criminal running possibly on a hunt to find a woman, since that's what he keeps shouting. Then in the next page we see Stain slitting his throat with no hesitation. The cut looks so clean in this chapter, you can even see that the criminal hasn't yet reacted to his death. He is still in that energetic pose. Goes to show how quick that attack was. Being in Tartarus for so long hasn't dulled Stain in any way. Since we know that the criminals inside of Tartarus have absolutely no information about the outside world, Stain thinks what would have happened to the outside world if Tartarus of all places was infiltrated. Anyway, he needs information and that's what he goes looking out for. He then goes to the security monitoring room in hopes of finding information, but it's already destroyed because of the aftermath of the jailbreak. The security personnel seem to have died before getting ready to defend themselves. After all, the criminals inside Tartarus aren't any low profile ones, they are at least on the level of the top 50 heroes. So guns and arms won't work against them. Stain finds a security guard lying and holding to something dearly, more dearly than a firearm. He is on the verge of his death, and in his dying moments, the security guard tells Chizome to not give it to any of the Shigaraki followers. He says that it's a recording device and requests Stain to give it to a just person, meaning a hero or anyone associated with them. Stain respects that and promises to deliver it to the right person, which we know he does in the previous chapter when he gives the device to All Might. A man of word indeed. Stain is a very grey character in my opinion, who has both the qualities of an evil person and a good person. I guess that's what makes his character very complex. I wonder if he feels any sort of confliction inside him. In his dying moments, the security guard asks Stain if he is a man or a monster, to which Stain replies that the ones who strive for a completely just world are indeed monsters. We see all the criminals praising All for One in the next page, and Stain hiding behind a wall observing them. He then jumps off of Tartarus and proceeds to deliver this recording device that a man in his dying moments passed on to him. Stain says that he will pass it on to the one human that he can trust, to the one person who Stain thinks can accept this because that person was the one who started all of this. And then we cut to All Might as Stain was referring to him in this monologue. The panel of Stain walking and the newspaper and the reports in the background suggests that he has gone through all the information that he was missing. As we saw before that he was obsessed with getting information, it's fair to say that he must have read a lot of what he missed during his stay at Tartarus. Pretty studious guy for a criminal if you ask me. And can we talk about Tsukauchi here? He looks so cool with that stubble of a beard, almost like Aizawa without the long hair. In the next page, we find out that they wouldn't have normally got this data from Tartarus because it was so isolated from them and top of it destroyed by All for One. So it's a great thing that they somehow were able to get it, even though it was from the hero killer Stain. We even see this panel of a security guard who looks very similar to Shishikura, and we know for a fact that his father was employed at Tartarus. So it might mean that his father has indeed died, which is a sad thing. Anyway, we find out that Tartarus was heavily damaged from both the inside and the outside, meaning from both All for One and Shigaraki in a very synchronized attack. All Might adds in by saying that All for One was able to do this because a part of him resided inside of Shigaraki and hence they were able to communicate both ways, which All Might can't do for some reason. The All Might's conscience we see inside of One for All doesn't communicate back with All Might or Deku for that instance, which he points out in the next page. He adds on by saying that when he was close enough to make a direct contact with Midoriya, his spiritual form memories came rushing in. And if All for One had the same thing with a higher synchronicity, then it is possible for All for One to communicate with his real body 500 meters down in Tartarus. That is how they must have damaged Tartarus from both outside and the inside. Pretty heavy stuff, I know. I personally had to read the chapter 2-3 times to understand it. Hopefully I get more clarity once I read the official version. Tsukauchi adds in by saying that they were using radio waves, and if Shigaraki was able to use radio waves more precisely than Nomu's, then he will be able to transceive as well, meaning it was like a conversation between All For One and Shigaraki, which luckily they caught on the recording device that they got from the security guard, and after analysis of that waveform captured on that device, they find out that he will be completed in 38 days, he being All For One's successor, his new body, that is Shigaraki. But we know that Central Research Team estimated a time span of 2 months, which gave the heroes some time to strategize. But in the next page, they realize the horrible truth that the vessel All For One was trying to make out of Shigaraki will be completed in just 3 days. Damn, talk about speeding things up. We went from 1 month in a chapter a week ago to now just 3 days. I don't think the heroes will be able to stop from the vessel getting completed. They better prepare themselves for what's to come. Previously, with just the fraction of All For One powers, Shigaraki was so destructive. Imagine him with full-blown All For One powers. He will be literally unstoppable. And Deku hasn't even mastered all the previous One For All users' quirks. He still has the second and third quirks to master, out of which we still don't know the third quirks yet. So things are speeding up, sadly not for the heroes. In the next page, we shift our attention to what looks like to be an UN equivalent of My Hero Academia world, where you have all these government officials discussing about the ongoing situation. They're talking about the foreign heroes dispatchment that was referred to a couple of chapters back. Here's the interesting thing. They say that almost every nation is in chaos simultaneously, and that All For One has its tendrils into most of the nations. Since our focus was solely on Japan all this time, I didn't think such destructions were happening in other places as well. Goes to show how much planning went into behind the scenes by All For One. We have various government officials talk about how their respective number 1 heroes are ready to help since the request is coming from All Might of all heroes, to which the official in the shadows answers that a certain hero has already departed since she was incredibly impatient. And in the final page, we get this white cover of the United States of America's number 1 hero, Stars and Stripes, saying that her master is in trouble and they can't waste any time. And the master she is referring to is indeed All Might. And she is saying all of this while she is standing on a freaking jet aircraft. I don't know about you guys, but consider me hyped for this hero. She looks like an exact copy of All Might. And if All Might was a teacher, then you can expect a lot of qualities that Toshinori had. It would be like seeing a buffed up All Might again. Her costume design is very good with that American flag and cape, a very American hero-ish costume I would say. And the chapter ends. My personal rating for this chapter is 8 out of 10. Would have been a 9 if the info dump was not so heavy. Overall, a good chapter nonetheless. Also, I was not able to make the review for the previous chapter because it was a chill chapter with not a lot of things going on, so I thought it wouldn't require any sort of reviewing. Hope you don't mind that. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this chapter? Do let me know in the comments below. And if you have reached at this point in the video, thank you. You're a wonderful person and I really appreciate you. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.